Now to team coverage of tonight's debate. We have a team of reporters covering it all, from the candidates to what voters want to see.
We're also live tonight with former governor and one-time presidential candidate Tommy Thompson. Let's start, though, with 12 News political director Matt Smith. He's live inside the debate spin room tonight. Matt?
Patrick and Joyce, a critical moment now, just moments away, hours away. The debate just on the other side of where we are. We're inside the spin room. This is where the campaigns, the candidates are going to come afterwards, including the head of the Republican National Committee, who was here moments ago. Take a listen.
It's going to be great. We love Milwaukee. It's been a great day so far. We're going to have a great debate. Bye, guys.
Just moments ago, Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel, the Republican National Committee, going on to the debate stage, anticipating a good night here in Milwaukee. Before that, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum inside the spin room in a boot and crutches after last night apparently tearing his Achilles playing basketball here in Milwaukee. Former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson also coming in here after doing a debate walkthrough. Take a listen to how they're preparing now for this debate just moments away. Have you done the walkthrough? What does the stage look like? What does your afternoon look like in terms of prep?
Well, the walkthrough, the stage looks terrific. It's exciting to think there'll be 5,000 people out there live watching the debate, and we're ready for it. So, you know, I'll be fine-tuning a few things, but the key thing is to relax, enjoy, and make sure America gets introduced to you in the right way.
Where were you when this happened, and what happened?
Well, we're playing in a pickup game at a local university that has got a great reputation for basketball. So it was a thrill to be playing in one of their gyms, and we were just having a great game of pickup and going hard to the hoop, and boom.
And this just a new video of former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie walking into Fiserv Forum tonight, getting ready for this debate that begins at 8 o'clock. A critical moment for a lot of these candidates on stage. Without former President Donald Trump, the front runner here, it is a moment they need to seize. The question will be, which candidate, do any of these candidates seize the moment coming out of this 2-hour debate, guys?
Can you elaborate? What can we expect to see in the spin room after tonight's debate?
Joyce, the activity is picking up a little bit. Surrogates coming in here, campaign officials. We saw a couple of the candidates, but tonight after the debate, we're going to anticipate seeing a number of the candidates, depending on how they do on that debate stage in here. For sure, they're campaign officials, they're surrogates, and I'm going to predict they're all going to come in claiming they won. We're going to be here. You're going to hear from them in our live special post-debate coverage that begins tonight at 10. Guys.
Political director Matt Smith reporting live in the spin room tonight. Matt, thank you. And here's the format for tonight's debate. The candidates will not give opening statements. They'll have 1 minute to answer questions from the moderators. You'll have 30 seconds to respond to follow-ups and 45 seconds for closing statements. That's according to what Fox News told the candidates ahead of the debate. So what will voters be looking for as they watch tonight's debate?
12 News' Syria Sandlin continues our team coverage with that part of the story. Syria.
Joyce, with thousands of people expected to attend tonight's debate, there are obviously so many issues on the voters' minds. I spoke with people of all ages today, and it seems the top priority is the economy.
If you had to rank your top 3 priorities as a voter, what would they be?
The economy, education, and then focusing on the homeless.
I'd like to hear more about the economy. I hear a lot about that in regards to like college tuition, stuff like that.
The 2 biggest things to me are like the border and like how the Afghanistan withdrawal went.
The economy, the border. Those are my primary ones.
Joyce, Patrick, I also asked those voters what they think about the frontrunner, former President Donald Trump, not appearing on stage tonight. They said they are disappointed that he should be here, but they're now focusing on the other candidates.
And right now behind us, people are filing into the arena at this hour ahead of that debate. Syria Sandlin outside Fiserv Forum tonight.
Now this afternoon, Milwaukee police closed several streets surrounding Fiserv Forum. We have highlighted them in red for you on this map. Most main roads around the arena will be closed until tomorrow. So let's go to Matt Salemi live in News Chopper 12 for this update. Matt.
Yeah, Joyce, we're looking at a couple of those streets, and there seems to be that there are some Trump supporters, and I got some folks here that say stand up for Israeli democracy. Looks like somebody trying to be Donald Trump and someone else there in some costumes. And I also noticed there was a group of protesters. They just left, and they're marching down Juneau right now. You can see a group of they're about maybe 100, maybe 150, and you can see they're kind of crowding on Juneau on the corner there at 6th Street. They march down Juneau to the entrance here, then back down on the north side of the street. So got a little bit of activity going on inside the closure area. Meanwhile, the crowd outside here in the shade is now starting to seek some air conditioning of Fiserv Forum. Patrick, Joyce.
All right, Matt Salemi reporting live in News Chopper 12. Thank you, Matt. As Matt showed you just there, some people are protesting tonight's debate.
12 News' Nick Bohr joins us now live. Nick?
Hey, Joyce and Patrick. This is the Service Employees International Union based here in Milwaukee. These folks are, but there are people here from Florida. There's a big bus from Michigan that came in here, and they are asking for labor rights, of course, full employment, higher minimum wage, a lot of labor-related issues that they feel is very important to their cause. They don't believe, they said, that they're going to hear that coming from the stage tonight, but they wanted to be here to express that, and earlier at a rally they held as well. And we have some sound from that rally just a few minutes ago.
We want you to know that you have friends who support you. Working people have power, working people need representation, and working people need to go to work.
And the hundreds of people who are marching here, obviously dealing with the heat as well, but they came down. They thought they'd be stopped here at Juneau and around 4th, but they were allowed to continue all the way down past Fiserv, and they tried to stop there right by the entrance to Deer District, but police moved them on. They went around the block, and now they're heading back to where they started. But again, they wanted their voices heard here tonight, and they are doing just that.
Nick Bohr reporting live in downtown Milwaukee tonight. Nick, thank you.
Even before Republicans will take the stage, Democrats offered a much different view of what you'll see tonight.
12 News' James Stratton has that part of our coverage. He joins us now live. James?
And Patrick and Joyce, when Republicans are looking for their moment on the stage tonight, Democrats call it all just a race to the bottom. They also launched these billboards across the city of Milwaukee ahead of the GOP debate tonight, offering a much different view, saying you'll see extreme policies tonight on stage in just a couple of hours. Instead, Democrats say they're focused on leading from the White House and up and down the ticket. They say they're focused on issues that matter to the American people in a time where a lot of Americans' eyes are focused on this stage. Here's what Democrats say they're doing to reach voters.
In 2020, the American people made their voices heard when they chose unity over division, hope over fear, competence over chaos. And they're going to do it again next November when they send President Biden and Vice President Harris and Democrats up and down the ballot back to the White House.
And the question tonight to the Biden campaign, to that very person, was, when it comes to the general election, will President Biden take a debate stage? He says the Biden campaign has yet to discuss that. Guys.
James Stratton reporting live with the Democratic response tonight.